with fantasy season's approaching in the next few weeks. And if you want some deep sleeper options, especially if you're in deeper leagues, 14-team leagues or something like that, here's a few running backs. I have as sleepers. First running back, Rachel Tootin of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So going into the season now, Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, looks like that might be a split in the early going on the year. But Rachel Tootin's a running back, took in the NFL draft this season. Not one of the high prospects where there was a lot of good running backs that came out this season, but Tootin, an explosive running back, has that home run ability. And like I said, the last couple of years, ETN, he's declined already. His contract's up after the season. Tank Bigsby, yes, he showed some flashes last year in between the tackles, but he's not a receiving back out of the backfield. So Tootin right now, he's going in that 12th, 13th round range in most fantasy drafts. And he's got explosiveness, and he's a running back that could crack this rotation, I think, by midseason is Tootin. I'm not saying he's going to come in right away and be a breakout and take over the starting job over there for this Jacksonville Jaguar team. And he was third on the depth chart and coming into the game in preseason. But most of the time, when you're looking for a sleeper, these guys are under the radar, obviously. They're not owned in many fantasy leagues, and there's someone you could take late and just keep them on your bench the first few weeks of the season and see if they get playing time, or if an injury happens, they step up and get the spot. So Rachel Tootin, like I said, going into the year, I don't think he's going to be drafted more than like maybe 40% of fantasy leagues. And like I said, he's got some hype around him coming in from the NFL draft this season. But a lot of good rookies coming in at the running back position, and Tootin's one of them, but definitely a sleeper for fantasy owners this year. The next running back, Jerome Ford of the Cleveland Browns. Jerome Ford, he's going late in fantasy drafts as well. And a lot of people assume it's going to be Dylan Sampson right away at the running back position, but Jerome Ford's been a veteran over there in Cleveland, and I think they're going to go with veterans early in the season. Flacco, a quarterback, I say will start for this Brown team. Ford in the backfield. Sampson also as well. Sampson, he's a fourth-round pick, so I don't think right away they're just going to give the keys to the backfield to Sampson. He'll be worked in here and there, but Jerome Ford, like I said, he's been filling in for Nick Chubb over the last few seasons before he went down with injury last year once again, and he left going to the Houston Texans. So last season for Ford, 104 carries, 565 rush yards, 3 touchdowns, 37 catches, and 225 receiving yards. He could do a little bit of everything, is Ford. I know he's a smaller back, but in between the tackles, he's shown he could make things happen, and he's had some big home run plays over the last couple seasons. And out of the backfield, a good receiving back. So like I said, he's got potential of being a 3-down back. He's going 10th, 12th round range is Jerome Ford. And we've seen he can make plays in the backfield is Jerome Ford. So like I said, this Brown team out of the gate, I think they're going to go with the veterans, Flacco and Ford, to start the year. And to be honest, they got some weapons. Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, a nice tight end as well, and Cedric Tillman in the receiving game. So I think Ford's going to start the year as a starter, even though there's been a lot of hype about the rookie Dylan Sampson over the last couple weeks. And Ford's been under the radar, and he's a solid bench piece for fantasy owners. Next back, Jaden Blue with the Dallas Cowboys. Jaden Blue, he was drafted in the 4th round as well from this Dallas Cowboy team. And right now he's behind Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, but there's still no clear-cut number 1 running back in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. So Jaden Blue, he's got some upside coming in. Like I said, those guys are beatable in Williams and Sanders, even though Williams is only 25 years old and maybe something left in the tank now, entering the second season, coming off an ACO. Jaden Blue could work his way into a rotation even. Could receive out of the backfield. He showed in college last year he could carry a full workload, 134 carries, 730 rush yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns. I know he's a smaller back as well, Blue, 5'9", 196 pounds. But if he could just get in there 10, 15 touches per game with his impact and his home run hitting ability, and especially the receiving prowess out of the backfield, I think Jaden Blue is a solid sleeper. And like I said, the competition ain't crazy in the backfield for Dallas. Last year, Rico Do had 1,000 yards. He's not the biggest of backs as well in that Cowboy offense. And I think Jaden Blue, if he could crack this rotation even a little bit in the early going and show what he could do, as he could earn more touches. He's definitely a sleeper, and he's another running back that's going undrafted in some fantasy leagues, or he's going in some of the later rounds, one of your last rounds of your draft. So Jaden Blue, definitely someone to keep an eye on, and he's a sleeper running back this season. Next back's Rogon Johnson of the Chicago Bears. The same thing as Jaden Blue. He's going late in fantasy drafts, and he's been undrafted in a lot of leagues as well, is Rogon. So I know DeAndre Swift is the man over there, but Rogon last season, he did steal some goal line from Swift, and he's not that bad of a receiver out of the backfield as well. So at this point, he's more of a handcuff than Rogon Johnson, because Swift in this offense, with Ben Johnson now leading the way, I think they're going to try to use him like a Jahmyr Gibbs, get him in space, get him in the open field is Swift, and obviously speed, main strength for Swift, and Rogon could be that physical in between the tackle running backs at times when they need it. But like I said, Rogon Johnson, I don't believe out of the gate he's going to give Swift a run for his money at the job. He could get anywhere 5-10 touches per game as a change of pace back and short yardage is Rogon Johnson, but not someone right away who's going to come out and steal the job, but someone definitely to keep an eye on. Like I said, this Bear team, they didn't get anyone else in the backfield in the draft or free agency, so Rogon is a good handcuff and possibly someone, if Swift struggles in the early going, that could eat into the workload and be a sleeper running back this season. And the final running back, Rico Do of the Carolina Panthers. Rico Do, I mentioned him early in the video, had 1,000 yards with the Cowboys last season as their number one back. Once that was finally figured out, Ezekiel Elliott is washed and his best days were behind him. 235 carries, 1,079 rush yards, 2 touchdowns, 39 catches, 249 receiving yards, and 3 TDs. So Dotto could do a little bit of everything. Had a 39 catch season. I know Chuba Hubbard, he's the number one obviously over there in Carolina. And also as well, he signed a contract extension during the season last year. So, but Rico Do, he's physical in between the tackles, good receiver out of the backfield, and he's an injury away stepping into this offense. So I think early going, he's just someone you stash on your bench and see what happens and what shakes out in the backfield in Carolina. But we know what Rico's capable of. Last season, with a bunch of backups for the most part of the season. Cowboys were out with Dak most of the year. Jake Ferguson was hurt a lot. CeeDee Lamb was banged up. He missed a few games. And the banged up offensive line, Dotto still went out there and put up impressive numbers. So like I said, he's someone to keep an eye on in the later rounds is Rico Do, where you could get him just like Jaden Blue and Rogon Johnson very late in your fantasy draft. So that's a few running backs I have as sleepers entering the 2025 fantasy football season.